It's good to have you back on the podcast again. How you doing?
Thank you. It is good to be back. I'm doing good. Thank you. And you?
No, good, good. It's good to have you on, and yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's good to have you back, and I just thought I'd kind of like start off by introducing you and where you're at with things now, kind of like to touch base on your situation.
hmm Well, so I'm living in Croatia, and because it is Corona and all, I'm working from home. So I have my 9 to 5 job, but I also started a few months ago my coaching business. So I am coach for confidence on social media for creative people. But also I got kind of accidentally in a team of the high right now that is a startup, and they are trying to make meaningful connections for communities and for the people all around the world. So I'm also working on that. So this is kind of like totally whole new story or new traveling of my life. So
Yeah, no, that's good, and I think it's good to be adaptable as a person, where you can kind of change your mind and kind of like flow into different kind of scenarios and because I think like a lot of the time, the world is changing, isn't it? And I think sometimes you kind of change with it and things like that. So I think that's quite good that you can kind of like do multiple things, kind of know what it is that you kind of want to go into.
yeah, that is true. I agree.
Like with coaching, like did you benefit? Do you feel like you benefited from the coaching? Like other people benefited from it? Like it's
Well, to be honest, I started to coaching, but I didn't do that much because I have some other priorities. And
mm,
I started it. I didn't thought about being part in another startup because I have also my 9 to 5 job. So it was like I didn't even think about it because it is a lot of work. But so really, it is fun, and the way how I got into it, it is just so fun for me and so interesting. So it is just like becoming my second thing that I'm doing in my life. So
mm. Yeah, no, that's great. And I think like with coaching and like that area, there's a lot of transferable skills you can then take from the coaching and apply excuse me, to other jobs as well. Like like people skills, listening, mentoring.
yeah, that is true. And I'm already all for a long time on social media, so I think I know a lot of from my own experience. So that is actually why I decided to go confidence coaching on social media because I have issues with confidence on social media. I was afraid of posting there, so I went
Yeah,
through it. So I just wanted to share with people my own story and teach them how to get over that stuff.
yeah, no, definitely. And I like your content. Like you put a lot of content on TikTok and your Instagram, and I think like you do like a lot of art as well. Because remember when we last spoke, you do drawings and put a lot of work into that as well.
hmm Yeah, I like art, and that is like basically I like to connect with the artist, and that is because I wanted to coach the artists, the creative people, because I think I can understand them the best because I'm also kind of the artist and I love creativity, so I think
Mm,
I can understand them the best. So that is like
yeah,
niche because of that.
yeah, no, definitely. And I think like as well, with social media and putting your content out there, it's quite a big thing, isn't it? When you're putting things out there. And I think like a lot of the time people don't do that because, they're afraid of what people might think and, being judged and this kind of stuff. I always like it. I didn't do my podcast for 2 years because I was worried about what people are going to think about it. So, I think it's great what you're doing and that, you're putting out good content and it's going to encourage other people to, do art as well and to put their kind of creative side on social media.
Yeah, I hope that I really love to encourage people. So I really love to explore people that they're not like famous, and I really love to share their music, their art, and also when I just see that one people find more about them and all, I'm just happy. So
Mm. Yeah, no, that's it. And I think with social media, you can meet like some really great people as well. And there's definitely like that kind of like sense of community as well. Like I definitely, seen that on LinkedIn and Instagram, a lot recently.
hmm yeah,
Like,
that's true. That is all over the place. Social media is like really booming right now, and
mm,
you can find a lot of communities and all. So it is just actually it is a bit hard to stay connected with those people. So
mm,
kind of why when I got into High right now, so it is platform for meaningful connections in video chat. So I think it is a good way to actually people from communities talk with each other. So for example,
Mm.
I have a lot of Instagram friends, I have a lot of LinkedIn friends, but a lot of them I just talked with them through the comments a few times and we just lose touch. But if we have a opportunity to actually talk to the video chat, 6 minutes,
Mm.
I think it is like a really more opportunity to connect more with those kind of people.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think like everyone's kind of got busy lives, haven't they? And people got, their own things going on. But I think like just touching base, 15, 20 minutes, it definitely does help. And I think it's good to kind of, touch base every so often and have that connectivity with people. Um, like, I mean, we're good friends with Miriam, Miriam, who
Yeah, yeah.
does digital art, and like Zane and those guys. And it's really, I'm really grateful, and it's really nice to have that, isn't it? To connect with people that you're on the same kind of vibe with. And I think it's so important, and I talk about it a lot. Being aware of where your attention goes and the kind of people that you surround yourself with as well.
Yeah, that is true. Especially in this time, if you are surrounded with negative people, you're also becoming negative. So it is important
Mm,
to just positive people around you.
yeah, yeah, no, definitely. And like this new opportunity that you kind of like going into, like with this work. So what's that kind of like involve? Like, are you able to talk about that at all? Like,
You mean hi right now?
what's it called? Hi.
Hi, like hi, saying hi.
Oh, hi. Okay.
Yeah, it is not hi, but it is actually hi.
Yeah.
So it is like greeting each other.
Yeah.
So it is actually funny story how I got into it. I got through other app, through Mind Valley app, and there was
Nice.
who was posting event on that mastering networking, like how do people connect, and he was just posting event on that app, and I was like, okay, I love social media, and I wanted to see what kind of app is that. So I went to that event and I meet. So it is basically like 6-7 minutes chat with different kind of people, and there is like 6 round, 9 round. It depends how much length you put for the host
Mm,
choose how much rounds and how many length
yeah.
of the round. And I met there really interesting people, and I was like, oh my god, I really want to go another event. And I was like, okay, in few hours there is another event. And I went there, and there is actually one of the co-founders, Steven, was there on that event,
Mm,
host. And I just got connected with him. We become friends with LinkedIn, and I was just helping them. So you know how Gary and others are saying, just give the free value and all. And I didn't even think about becoming part of the team. I was just giving them advice how to post on social media. I made a article on Medium about Hi right now, and I was really eager to share with the people how good that app is. And then one day Steven was like, we are searching for someone who would be like in the growth team for Hi right now. Are you know for someone? And I was like, I'm that person, so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
part of the team. So he was like, okay, yeah, sure.
That's great.
Yeah, so that is kind of how I become the part of that team.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. It just shows you, doesn't it? Just through networking and meeting people, it opens up doors and opportunities. Because I remember you sending me that link for, actually, it's come back to me now. But
Mm-hmm.
I think I had things going on that day, so I didn't have the time to do it because of the time
Mm-hmm.
zone difference. That was it. I think my friends came down. That was it. My friends came down on holiday.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll definitely get into another one. But I think it's definitely like, um, just kind of going out your comfort zone a little bit more into the unknown, connecting with people, and just putting yourself out there. It just, it can open up doors and connections, and that person might know somebody who knows somebody, and it just kind of all interlinks. And I think it's such a great, part of the internet. And I think, the internet has its downsides and upsides. And I think, the networking side of it is definitely an upside. And you just don't know, if you don't message that person, or if you don't reach out, you're kind of like limiting and restricting yourself, aren't you? So I think, kudos for you for, just getting out there and networking and doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I like to hide now, when you are talking with the people and there is like kind of awkward silence when you don't know each other. But on High right now, for example, we have tags. So each people deciding what tags, so what is their like kind of interest, what they are doing. And then you see like, oh, you are bookworm. What is the last book that you read and stuff like that. So you actually get immediately like team, what are you can talk about. So I think that is like
Mm,
a really good icebreaker for the start of the conversation. So, and after each event, you can share like LinkedIn or email with the people, and you can connect more with them. So,
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think it's good to kind of have a talk, because I think sometimes in networking or, like in those kind of situations, people might feel nervous. So, I mean, I think it's good to have like a topic where you can kind of touch base, isn't it? It's a bit like, well, it's not like going on a date, but do you know what I mean? It's like you're getting to know that person, so you can have a conversation you can both gel with, And I think like, especially reading and books, I think most people read nowadays. I know some people don't, but I think, if you're talking about reading and books, you might even be reading the same book. You just don't know.
yeah, that is true. And you can find like maybe book communities, so you can go there with the whole book community and talk about books that you read. So I think it is like really great potentials for that app. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, is there any books that you've been reading recently, at all,
Well,
or any
yeah,
you can
actually, I
recommend?
read like a few months ago a really
Hmm.
good book by Kate Ferrazzi. He wrote the book Never Eat Alone, and it was about market networking.
Hmm.
So it is like he was telling about his story, how networking is important, how giving value is important, and actually I kind took of his advice because he also have a course on the Mind Valley. He has a class there on that app order, and I kind of also took his advices for networking when I was talking with Steven and the co-founders of High right now. So it is kind of mixed like Gary Vee and Kate Ferrazzi, what get me into High right now. So Kate have like 5 packets of generosity, and he was talking about if you're reaching to people, don't do cold mail but just research really about that person and give them 5 things that they are really looking into, how that can help to them. And it is probably that they will answer to your email because you offer them something for free. So it is like kind of the vibe, and I really like that. So that is like really
Hmm.
good book that I recently read. So definitely recommend it to everyone.
Yeah. No, no, definitely. That sounds really good, and I think that's like one of the things that I don't like about like networking is that sometimes on LinkedIn I'll get a message and somebody's telling me to buy their course or telling me to sign up to something, and they haven't even like gained that rapport or asked about you, and I just find that really off-putting, and it's like you can kind of tell if it's just a copy and pasted script, whereas if I network with people, I take my time to to write a personal message and say hello. I think networking and doing that, like connecting people and providing value and like being a service, isn't it? Like I did a podcast with someone the other day, and there was like, how can I be of service? How can I provide you more value? And it's like, it's nice.
Yeah, exactly. So Kit was just saying like you think that you don't have any value to offer, but you have always something. Maybe some people you just can try to find some people who is connected to that person. So for example, if he's like really big person, someone famous, you try to get to the smaller ones who are their friends, who are their managers or stuff like that. So you can always find a way to connect with that person, but don't just reach out and say, oh, I want to do that or with you or something like podcast or all, but you just give them first value, why they should actually connect with you. So I
Hmm.
like that. So
Yeah, no, no, definitely. And I think is it I've been learning recently, like somebody posted a quote or something that's like, give more than you expect to receive, kind of thing. And I did a podcast with David Meltzer, and he said something like the 100 rule or something like this, which is
mhm.
like saying, he'll give $100, but just say, give me $20 back, kind of thing. And he's like, it's
Oh
that kind of value with it. And he was saying you could have a person who's, like bit of a, sketchy person, and then there's the person with that value, and it's that kind of value and that being genuine with that.
yeah, I agree. I actually like that. So I really think people should give more. So when you're asking for the help, you should ask like, how can I help you? And I think I got that mentality a lot from Gary Vee because
Hmm.
I wasn't like that before. I was thinking also like, what is value in that for me? But now I'm just thinking like, how can I help others? Because I know if that person doesn't help to me, some other will help. So it is kind of, if you give, you will receive, just exactly like that. So
Yeah, yeah, no, I think it's definitely important, isn't it? I think, what you kind of put out there, it kind of comes back to you, doesn't it? Like
yeah, yeah.
if somebody's being selfish, then that's going to come back to them.
Yeah, I agree. I recently like really met a lot of people, and I just try to like give them value or just give them advice or just nice word. And I realized that I got more connected with them, and it is just like more deep and meaningful relationships. So I just like to do that more.
Mm. Yeah, no, definitely. And I think like sometimes you can connect with people, online, and you kind of like you feel on the same vibe. You almost feel like you know them sometimes, don't you? It's pretty scary sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
Because I've touched base with some people before I've done a podcast, and then we've been on the Zoom call for like an hour or so, and I'm like, gosh, I'm like, it just flies, isn't it? It's like it goes so quick.
Yeah, yeah, that is definitely true.
But
I because I like that so conversation on high right now because it's like 6 minutes and you are aware of what are you talking, so you have 6 minutes, so you wanted to share something, but you also want to allow the people to share something else. But it is kind of cool because you have again after each conversation you have like yes, no, or maybe you can connect again in another event with that person, so you get again connect more, so you get more 6 minutes with that people, and you actually,
mm,
oh, we didn't talk about that, I already know you, so it is kind of like just going deeper in.
mm,
So
mm,
it is like I really like that because I'm a lot of on Facebook communities and all, but they're just trying to sell. It is just becoming like place for the selling. It is not like for meaningful connections. And I've
mm,
some people there, but they're like mostly selling persons. So I like to have the kind of app that I know that when I go there on high right now, I really know that there is no like salesy person, but there is like people who really want to connect and really want to talk and share their story. And
mm.
so yeah.
Yeah, no, no, definitely. I think it's definitely good to try and find your kind of platform or community that kind of works for you, isn't it? Like I, I've got a personal Facebook and I've got my Facebook page for my podcast, but I go on there, I just post what I need to post, and I kind of come off it. I try not to I don't get sidetracked into anything, or
Mhm.
because like I think a lot of the things on there are like arguments and people posting random things, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. I just want to put what I need to put, and then I'm kind of out. Um, but like with that, I think like those 6 minutes, that's quite a challenge, isn't it? To try and connect and say the things that you need to say in that kind of short frame of time, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, yeah. So we were testing actually like 7 minutes and more, and I think we realized that 6 minutes is like the best because when you have like awkward conversation, because there's the people like they are like shy or they are just don't know what to talk, and it is like 6 minutes is really a long time. But when you have a person that you really like vibe with and you really understand and you really connect with them, they are like 6 minutes.
mm,
Sometimes it's okay, sometimes you want to be a little bit longer, so you just connect with them on the mail or LinkedIn and you just continue to conversation.
yeah,
So I think like 6 minutes is okay because there is sometimes awkward conversations, and if it is more of 6 minutes, is really like what's to tell.
yeah,
It is really weird. So
yeah. No, I agree. I think like 6 minutes is quite a long time when you're in that moment, or when you're fully present, you're in that moment, you connect with someone. That is quite
yeah,
a long time when you break it down. Um, as well, if somebody's nervous or things like that, it's probably even more. It feels probably a lot longer.
yeah, exactly. So I think it is like the perfect minutes. So
Mm-hmm. No, that's it. Do you have any role models or like mentors that you kind of like look up to, or anyone like that, like professionally or personally? Would you say?
well, so last time I was talking about my dad as my mentor,
Yeah, yeah.
role model, and he really still is because he's always trying to find a way how to get on with life, how to earn money,
Mm,
how to. He's really creative on some way, so
mm,
I'm really looking up to him much, and also actually they're not like kind of my role model, but so Steven and George and Max, they are co-founder of High right now, and
mm,
I also get in that team because of their personal stories. has also podcast High Right Now Unfiltered, and he was telling about how he get in High Right Now, why he was started and all. And I can say that all of three of them are like my role models, but there are someone like I really looking up to them because
Yeah.
they're really cool because they really also go through a lot of stuff in their life and all. And when I hear their story, I was just like, I want to be part of that journey because I really want to like go next few years, and I want to look back and just hear, oh, I become part of that amazing journey for them. So
Mm. Yeah. No, definitely. And I think that's really nice. And I think like, yeah, you kind of it's positive as well what you're doing, isn't it? And then that kind of like group and that kind of work, you're connecting people and connecting the dots. And I think, if you can do that, provide that service for someone to, connect with somebody and that leads to an opportunity or relationship you don't know, I think that's, really kind of where the value is, isn't it, as well?
yeah, I agree. Actually, so we are working. So because we are startup and we are in beginning of our journey, and I'm actually working there for free. And there is a lot of people.
Mm,
So we are all working for free. And to be honest, I never thought that I would work for someone for free. But
yeah.
when I just met them and when I hear their story and when I get a part, just a little part of that High Right Now and all, I just wanted to be part of that even for the free. So, and there is like this other guy, Ashley, he was also, he meets Steven also and all us on High Right Now. He also recently become part of this team and he's also working for free. So it's just like, I didn't believe when you are talking about your dreams and about what do you want in life to change
Mm,
and in the people's experience. And when I just hear Steven's story and Max and George, and I just want to be part of it, even for free. So I think
mm,
just, and that whole app and is just like the vibe and creativity. And it is just like, I don't know, I really like that. So
yeah. No, it's lovely. And I think, like, as well, when you're doing something for free and you really love it and you enjoy it, I think that's kind of like where the magic is because, I mean, that's kind of like where you think, the money doesn't have a part to play in it. Like, like at some point that will happen, but it's not the main kind of driving force. And I think that's the kind of um, area that a lot of people are kind of searching for, if that makes sense. A lot of people, searching just to make the money, and that's their main driving force. And I think if there's something under kind of beneath that, it's that kind of trapeze, isn't it? That kind of springs you to do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing things just for the money, but I think sometimes if people are just doing things just for the money, they might not be, do you know what I mean, as happy. If they're happy doing it and the money's alongside, then okay.
yeah, I agree. So when I was writing, I didn't want to like thinking about money and selling books. So I was just wanting how to make people like more happy and more inspired and all. And I thought that I was finding that in writing, but I missed something. Like you need to write a lot and you need to have a lot of inspiration, and sometimes you just got stuck and you can touch people, a lot of people. And also when I find High Right Now, it was kind of like become my second dream to touch people through all those, to connect people through communities, especially in this time. People are coming on High Right Now and they are like having uh, they don't know who to talk with and all, and they just have find kind of community, and they know that there will be like positivity. And also I really like
Mm,
that kind of stuff. So yeah, I
yeah,
care about money. uh, of course I want to we become famous and all and popular and that people love us and all, but I just really do it
yeah,
with my soul. So yeah.
yeah. No, that's lovely, and I think like as well, that's kind of like why where it's important, isn't it? Because you're providing value to people who, like especially during now in this time, a lot of people out there they're kind of yearning for that. A lot of people are wanting that connectivity. They're wanting to connect and touch base with people, and you don't know how much of an impact that's going to have on their day. That person might feel lonely or they feel like they they don't they haven't really got anyone to connect with. So I mean, through that, I think it's a great platform for people to do that.
Yeah,
And it's kind of like planting the seeds for things to grow, isn't it?
that is true. So Steven, our CEO, is actually digital nomad. So he was traveling. He didn't like stay to any place longer than 3 years, and he was searching for communities. So that is kind of why he started this, because he wanted to find those communities and to connect them, and to actually find also for himself the place where he can hang out and just connect with the people. So it's kind of his dream why he started High right now. So
Yeah. No, that's really nice. And I think, we're all kind of like, connected, as people. And I think if you can kind of find your tribe, that's kind of like where you kind of grow as well, isn't it? And I've definitely found that through podcasts, and I've definitely found that this year, like with people like yourself on LinkedIn and Instagram. And it's pretty powerful, really. It's pretty powerful. And, it's nice when you can connect with people and then connect other people with, other people as well. And then they go off and do something.
yeah, that is true. I actually met a lot of people, and then they introduced me to other people. I introduced them, and it is just like you find so many amazing people and you didn't even know, because they are like not famous or they are not known in their area, but they are really amazing. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's really, really important as well. And just trying to think, like, did you ever think that you would kind of get into this? Like, like in the past, did you kind of like want to go into a certain job or anything like that? What
well,
you're doing now, did you think you'd ever be kind of doing things like this?
so when we last spoke, like that was in the June, totally different plan for myself. Like I was trying to publish my book right till the end, so finish my book, publish my book in some way, self-publish. I was talking about making some stuff for the artist and all, and that is because kind of why I started this coaching business and all,
Hmm.
like really my priority. But now when I find High right now and this startup, it is just like it is so fun to be in something from beginning, when there is like hard stuff is hard, and
Hmm.
we need to find people, we need how to make, how to marketing, we need to find all that, and it is really fun. It is like, when Gary is talking about process and not like what is the end of the process,
Hmm.
never
Hmm.
understand it. So he was like, his goal is to buy jets, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he was trying like, but when I do that, it will be not fun. So I never understand that till now. So I was like,
Hmm.
now I really like this process. So I think I'm really now in the part of my life when I want to be.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it's definitely in the process, isn't it, where, you kind of learn everything and you grow. And I think it's more enjoyable, I think, if you can kind of enjoy the process and understand that. Because I think I like I talk about it a few times. I like to hit the ground running. I like to be confident in, what I'm doing. And I think, especially in this year, I've learned about, the process and what Gary Vee says, talks about that, like, it's not just the destination, it's like kind of all those bits in between, and, seeing how, you grow and things like that. And I think it's definitely, you know, quite cathartic when, you self reflect and you kind of see, where you were at this stage and then, now, and that whole kind of process in between. And I think if you just kind of so focus on that goal and not enjoying the process, you can kind of, don't know, put lots of pressure on yourself, might not be enjoyable. And there's those kind of small improvements, isn't it? Those small changes that you kind of notice that kind of make you feel better about it.
Yeah, that is true. Because I think about that podcast when we do in the June, I never
Mm,
thought that I will be where I'm now right now. So it is kind of really fun listening to me myself on that podcast, and I was like, oh my god, I was like total different mindset and all, and I really changed
mm,
like a lot of stuff about myself and how I'm acting, how I'm talking with the people, and also I think like I becoming like I changed a lot in those few months. So it was really
mm.
mind blowing kind of to me to hear myself talking 4 months. So I was like wondering what will be in the next 4 months. So it was really
Yeah,
me to hear myself talking about stuff.
yeah. No, it's great, and I think like I'm happy that we did that podcast back then, and then that you was able to look back and see that change. And I think it'd be great, we did another one at some stage, and then kind of see where we're both at and where you're at, next time, and see what happens.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, but it's like writing a book, isn't it? Almost, it's like And that's another thing, isn't it? Documenting, isn't it? Documenting, like when you're posting content, like documenting, it's like a new kind of journey, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So Gary was always talking. I'm really looking up to Gary because I really learned a lot from.
Mm,
So he was like always talking about documenting his journey, and he was like from Wine TV, and when he was like right now, and he always can come back and say, "I was talking that time this, and I'm still
yeah.
that one," and I really like that because he's always constant, and he was always talking about the same stuff, and you can see actually how generous and how honest and he is, and so.
Mm.
So I hope I will be like the person in the few years. And I was thinking, what I was talking now, I'm still thinking like that. So
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I think that's what I like about Gary as well. Like he's just genuine and down to earth, and he's real, and he will just say it how it is, and he's not afraid of to hold back. He would just say it, and like you said, when you say documenting stuff and looking back, I saw when he was on Joe Rogan and he was talking about like he was on about Airbnb and where the kind of market's at, and how things are kind of changed and yeah, it's definitely um awesome, how you can kind of document, and post content. And I think that's kind of like where the growth is as well, isn't it? And you can kind of say, I was here at this stage and I said the X, Y, Z, and this is where I am now. And you kind of, owning that as well. Because I think he definitely owns what he says. He won't say, I didn't say that. He's like, yeah, I said that, and this is where I am now. And yeah, I think being genuine is definitely key. And I think being yourself, isn't it? Because I think if you're not being yourself, then people are going to notice that and see that.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Actually, when I started, so I have Instagram for a really long time. So for
Mm,
10 years, maybe something like that. And when I was starting posting, I was starting actually with my poetry and all. And I was afraid, so I didn't have my profile picture, I didn't have my name, so that was like no for me because I didn't want to people know who I am, who is writing those words, because it was like when you're a writer, I mean, when you're writing stuff, it is actually what you are thinking, so it is like deep
mm,
from yourself. And I was then people like, oh, that is good, so I can like, okay, I won't show my last name, but I will put my first name. So it was starting like that. Then I won't show my picture, but I will start with my voicing. So you can actually see like really few years ago when I was actually having voice. So it is like dark and I'm video and just you hear my voice and I'm reading my poem. I was like searching through that and I was like, oh my God, I was like that once time. And now I'm like
mm.
publishing everything. I'm dancing. I'm making fun of myself on the TikTok and everywhere. And I really don't care. It is like really, that
Yeah,
is who I am and I don't care.
yeah.
So when I'm teaching like people about confidence on social media and I'm just saying, just look at me where I have been and what I'm doing now on TikTok and all, they're like, wow, you really changed. So I have like proof that I am changed.
Yeah,
I can do that for them too. So
yeah.
like that.
No, that's awesome. And I think like as well, you can kind of see how you've shifted and grown, from then to now. And it's really inspiring, you talk about those things because it encourages encourages other people to, do that as well. Because there are a lot of people out there, who are in that same boat, so to speak. And it will inspire them to then take that leap like you have, and just be patient and enjoy the process. And I think that's powerful, isn't it, when you look back at those times. um and I was watching one of Joe Rogan's old podcasts. Yeah, I was watching episode 143. This is 7 years ago, and I was looking at like his podcast layout and how it looked and what he was doing, and he was wearing like a t-shirt with a shirt over it, and he was in like, there was like a projector on the wall, and there was stuff everywhere and an old mic, and there's like a guy in the background sitting on a couch, and I was like, what the hell's going on, like what? And and I look where he is now, and you think, yeah, wow. um in that process as well, isn't it? It's that process kind of in between.
Yeah, yeah. It is beautiful to see that process. So actually, when you will see a few years ago, you will have like your podcast studio and all, and you will
Yeah,
just in the when you were filming this in the car now, you will be like, this is where I have been and this is where I am now. So I think it is beautiful, like to see your own journey.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's very, very cathartic, and I think it's important to take that moment just to reflect, isn't it? To see, you know, how far you've come, and I think it's great, what you're doing as well, and I wish you all the best in your journey, and this opportunity that you're going into, and it'd be good to touch base, in the future, and see how things are going.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
No, no, you're welcome, Sandra. But where can people find you on social media and things like that?
Well, everywhere. So because I love social media, I'm on social media. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. I have my own YouTube, finding inspiration with Sandra.
Mm,
Where I'm trying to interview people, do for search for inspiration and to inspire others. But I have a lot of work right now, so
yeah.
I kind of put also that on the pause. But I'm trying to do that more often. So
Mm,
definitely YouTube, on TikTok you can find, like, see me how I dance crazy
yeah, yeah.
stuff. Sometimes I'm serious there, but mostly I'm not. So
Yeah.
there on LinkedIn, on Reason, on Wattpad, on, I don't know, I'm everywhere. I mean, you can read the Medium articles sometimes
Yeah.
from me, so I'm really everywhere.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'll put the content in the bio for you so people can connect with you as well.
Thank you so much.
No, no, you're welcome. But no, have a great day, and I wish you all the best.
You too. Thank you.
No worries. See you in a bit. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.